So next up, we have a film that I do love. I do love this movie. It's an underrated John Carpenter movie, Prince of Darkness, which the DVD sucks and the cover sucks. I mean, I remember the cover of the VHS tape with, you know, like, it had this house thing, the church, I should say, but then it was like a guy's face stretching, and then like the green liquid, and here's this Alice Cooper. But this has a weird plot. Basically, things are going on in the world, and a priest dies, and he was keeping the secret where the church has sort of the basement of this, the basement of this church. There's this big fucking canister, you know, thing of green liquid, and it's Satan himself. And basically, Donald Pleasence is a priest who hires Victor Wan and some of the students. One student is a guy played by Jameson Parker. I think he did soap opera and stuff. I like the guy, actually, but I always liked him. He had like he had a early Chuck Norris look. You know Chuck Norris when he had blonde hair and a blonde mustache? It's like an early Chuck Norris look, I thought. But basically, and then you have Dennis Dunn, who is in Big Trouble in Little China. And you have this group of students, along with Victor Wan's professor, studying this green thing of liquid, trying to figure out how it hits, what's going on with it, what's up with the whole thing. And that's where you find out that basically it's Satan. And that it goes... My problem with the movie is it gets confusing. That's my one problem with the movie. The plot can get fucking confusing, because it deals with trying to deal with God or Satan, and also using science and formulas and scientific jargon, and telling about how, you know, the thing inside, it's alive and it's using telekinesis, and some of the liquid gets out and infects someone, and people get infected and they turn basically into zombies. You know, they're possessed, and like this one girl gets possessed, and you know, the big guy breaks his neck, and they just shoot this green shit into other people's faces, and they get infected. And there's all these bums, basically these bums led by Alice Cooper, who are also sort of under the influence, and basically the students have to survive and, you know, find out what to do. And at the same time, they're getting these transmissions when they sleep from something in the future or someone in the future. Although, of course, movie-wise, they can never get a clear picture until the fucking end, when it's over and too late. But all this stuff, like, you know, the books of... They find these books, and I swear to God, I am not kidding. Something about Jesus Christ being an alien that came down and warned people. And I went, John, I know you're trying to fool us by saying it was written by Martin Quatermass, but you wrote it, dude. So he must have known, because I don't know if it was part of a legal-wise, but he didn't put his name as the writer. And that's my one problem with this movie. The plot gets confusing and at times doesn't make sense. Like, there's a scene where Donald Pleasence and Victor Wan, and Victor Wan's talking about how, you know, maybe it's the reflection in the mirror. You know, maybe he's anti-God. And Donald Pleasence is horrified, like, oh my God, why didn't they tell us? And I'm thinking, tell you what? What the fuck didn't they tell you? I never understood that scene. Now, my only guess is they never knew that there was an anti-God. That they never knew that the purpose that this thing is having is to one day get in touch with what's on the outside of the mirror, the other side of the mirror, what's on the other side. Satan's dad, I guess, is what you want to call it. Anti-God. Now, I never knew Satan had a father. Because for the longest time, and in fact, if you have reviewers, some of them say that the liquid is Antichrist, and that the guy on the other side is Satan. But no, this is supposed to be Satan, and the other guy is anti-God, how do you want to call it? Dude, I never knew Satan had a dad. What the fuck? You know, I thought it was Satan and God. Does that mean God has a dad? Does God have a dad? If it's Satan and God, does God have a dad? What would that be? God squared? God cubed? What would you call God's dad? I don't know. It's a weird plot. And then it gets confusing with all this scientific mumble jumble that was confusing at times. But I know you're going, wait a minute, I thought you loved this movie. I do. That's the one problem. But so much of this other stuff in this film made me forgive that. It's a lot of stuff to forgive, but the other stuff in this film, first off, it's not, I do call it underrated because not many people talk about it. Not many people liked it. First off, the score. On my old account, when I was doing the 100 best personal horror films, you heard that piece of score in the intro. That's from this movie, Prince of Darkness. This to me is one of the best horror film scores ever. I'm not shitting you. In my opinion, once again, as a score for a whole, this is my favorite John Carpenter score. I love the main theme of The Thing. I love the main theme of his other films, The Song Piece and 13. But as an entire score, like each melody, each note, each track, I loved it. It was creepy. And this film, along with the score, is very atmospheric. Once again, John Carpenter knows how to do it. It was great to see John Carpenter just a fucking horror movie. You know, Christine is a horror movie, yes. Other stuff, but this is like, I think by this time he had done Starman and other stuff, and They Live. I'm not sure if They Live came before or after this. And, you know, they're good movies, but this was like, okay, another fucking horror movie. This is John Carpenter's take on religion, fucker. You know, that sort of thing. And although the plot was confusing, it was interesting. It was different. Maybe that's why the plot, I ragged on the plot because I didn't understand it 100%. But it's interesting. It's something I'd never heard of before. Anti-God, and it was different. And I appreciated that.